Ever get tricked by those optical illusions, where like nothing is quite what it seems, like it makes you question what you see?
Yeah.
Well, get ready, because today we're diving into a mathematical
Yeah.
illusion
Wow.
that'll really make you question what you see, or really what you don't see.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about loops that practically vanish into thin air,
Really?
mathematically speaking, of course.
And the really wild part is this isn't some abstract theory.
Hmm.
It's based on this 2004 paper
Okay.
from the journal Topology
Okay.
that lays out all the math behind this disappearing act.
All right. So before we make anything disappear, let's set the stage a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
The paper focuses on something called a smooth convex loop. So no, we're not talking about breakfast cereal here.
Right, right.
Oh.
Picture a rubber band
Okay.
stretched around a basketball.
Okay.
That's our smooth convex loop.
Yeah.
Smooth because there's no sharp corners,
Right.
and convex because it curves outward.
Got it. So a perfectly round loop?
Yeah.
Now this is where it gets really cool.
Okay.
Apparently, you can shine a light on this loop in a way that it casts no shadow.
It just disappears.
It just disappears?
Yeah. The paper talks about how if you shine a light from very specific directions, the loop's projection,
Mm-hmm.
and think of that as just a fancy word for its shadow,
Right.
completely vanishes.
Okay, so am I picturing this right? Like if I'm visualizing this. It's like when you shine a flashlight on your hand.
Mm-hmm.
From most angles, you get a shadow.
Right,
But from a certain perspective, maybe like directly above,
right.
that shadow could like disappear entirely.
Exactly. You got it. Like an optical illusion, but with math.
Mm.
You can see the loop, but from certain viewpoints, poof, gone.
That's wild. It seems so counterintuitive that something as concrete as a shape could just disappear, depending on how you look at it. How is that even possible, like mathematically?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
The paper explains this using this really fascinating concept of currents.
Okay.
Now, when I say currents, don't think about like flowing water. Think about invisible forces that dictate how these shapes behave when they're projected into different dimensions.
Okay.
Kind of like how gravity governs, how planets move.
So these currents are like mathematical tools that help explain how this vanishing act works.
Precisely. And here's the real kicker. This whole disappearing loop thing only works because our loop is on a smooth, round surface, like our basketball.
Okay.
Put it on something with a hole in it, like a donut,
Yeah.
and the trick's over. It doesn't work.
So the shape of the surface really matters, but why wouldn't it work on a donut?
Now, that is a fantastic question. It all comes down to the way these currents behave on different types of surfaces.
Okay.
And without, getting too deep into the weeds, think of it this way. The donut's hole, it disrupts the flow of these mathematical currents, making it impossible for that loop to completely disappear when it's projected.
So, what does this all mean? Why should we care about a loop that disappears?
Well, it really highlights just how counterintuitive and complex math can be.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's a powerful reminder that how we perceive something, it can be totally different depending on our perspective.
Yeah.
And not just, in like an artsy metaphorical way. We're talking, this is backed up by mathematical principles.
It's like what we might perceive as reality might have all these hidden layers of complexity
Exactly.
that we just completely miss unless we're looking at things from just the right angle.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And while this might all seem like, pure mathematical theory, understanding these concepts, it actually has implications in a lot of different fields.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You look at computer graphics.
Okay.
Knowing how these shapes behave in different dimensions, that's crucial for creating, realistic images on a screen.
Oh, interesting.
Or you think about medical imaging,
Yeah.
where understanding these projections, that's really crucial for being able to interpret scans accurately.
Wow, I never would have thought about it like that. It's amazing how what seems like this abstract mathematical concept
Right.
can have such tangible applications in the real world.
It really makes you wonder, are there other shapes out there with these, vanishing properties?
Yeah.
And what could that tell us about the nature of dimensions? It's really something to think about.
It really is.
Yeah.